Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. It's Brad here at Susie's Sweet Shop. Today's topic is going to be about edible images. So let's get started. Alright, so like I said, I was going to show you how to do edible images. So today I've got to print some edible images for a birthday party, which is a T-Rex. So I'm using Adobe Indesign, and what I've done is I've set up a custom sheet. The sheet I'm using today is going to have 12 up, and as you can see there's different X logos here now. We're going to replace those with the T-Rex. Took the time, measured them, got them to be as precise as possible. With edible images, as much as I'd like to say that each time they print the exact same, they don't. Sometimes I find the way the printer pulls the sheet into the printer, or the way the supplier has cut the images out, you'll get a little bit of shifting. So I always try to leave a little bit of extra room around the outside of the image to do it. So basically here's what the final image looks like. Okay, so basically we've got an image. So these circles represent where the images lie, and they're a little larger than the actual label itself, just so that I have a little bit of wiggle room, so that if they're not just exactly perfect, then they can float a little bit. The other thing I want to do is make sure the stuff that I really don't want to get cut off, that I bring it in quite a bit from the border. So where the head is, instead of putting him closer to the edge, I'm going to put him more to the center, just so that we don't have, if it does float a little bit, it doesn't cut it off. Next stage of printing edible images, what we've got is this little desktop Canon printer. This inside, you'll notice they look like just like normal ink cartridges, but they're actually edible ink. So I got to make sure that the ink doesn't dry out, and because if it does, then it'll cause the printer not to print as well. The other trick that I've learned over the years is to leave the printer on. If you leave the printer on, then it shoots a little bit of ink through the print head all the time, and then it won't dry out. Before I used to turn it off, or when the power goes off and the printer gets powered down, I like to turn it back on. The other little tip I like to tell people is when I'm about to print, I'll always do like a test print first. Alright, we're going to go back home where we're at now. Then I'm just going to go to settings, maintenance, and then I'm going to print nozzle check pattern. So nozzle check pattern, click that and say yes. Alright, so I'm going to be looking to make sure all those little lines on that grid are together. There is a little bit of that should be a solid line all the way down. It looks pretty good. I'm comfortable with that. Those little specks here, I'm not going to be overly worried. So you can see that there's pre-cut circles on each one. There's 12 on a sheet on this style, and then all we're going to do is place this in the back. I'm going to make sure the guides on the back are tight, and then click yes. So the printer we have is wireless, which is great because that means I don't have to try to plug it in all the time. So I've got we're gonna hit go. Alright, so now there's our lovely T-Rex being printed out on our sheets. And as you can see, here is there's a little bit coming off the edges of them. Actually, these turned out much better than I expected as far as placement on the labels. So if I zoom in real close, and then hopefully it'll pick it up, but like you'll see, his tail is run off. That's called a bleed in the print industry. So you do that so they'll come right off the edge. Most of them are actually really bang on, which is really good to see. I've just put out a mat that I can roll the fondant out on. Nothing. Take the sheet, peel it off, okay, and then I'll place it down on the fondant. It's very simple, just placing it on there. Then the key is to let it dry, and then it can be placed on top of the cupcake. All right. So as you can see, I just use this round cookie cutter that we have a set of. There's a whole bunch of different sizes. You can see there that we use. So I've got a couple different sizes that I use. So I use it just to basically give us a clean edge around the outside of the fondant. So now they're all on fondant discs. So now I'll let them dry, and then they'll be placed on the cupcakes just before the customer gets here. Thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure you give us a big like and subscribe to our channel to make sure that we can keep doing videos like this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Once again, thanks and have a sweet day.